Well, hello and welcome. This is On the Record. The Department of Mineral Resources says the number of people dying in South African mines has declined, but illegal mining is still a big problem. Mines seem to have no control over illegal mining and criminal activities on their premises, such as the recent events at Gloria coal mine, where 18 people died after an explosion underground while they were allegedly stealing copper cables. A multi-pronged approach involving both the mining industry and government is set to be required to better deal with illegal mining in South Africa, where bloody skirmishes pitting rival gangs, profiting from this illicit pursuit, and the illegal mine workers themselves are a frequent occurrence, with police officers and security guards sometimes caught in the crossfires. To look at this phenomena of illegal mining and what drives people to it is Philip Vilagazi. He's furthest to my left. He's the Deputy President of the National Union of Mine Workers. And filmmaker Catherine Mayberg is immediately to my right. She's the director of the documentary Dying for Gold. So before we start the conversation, why don't we have a look at a snippet of that film?
We have seen what the white man has achieved for himself in South Africa. What has he done for the native? He has put him to work.
Muganga hinkwavo la ngaka ko a hi tirhela tsone hu nyengelayi
bana ya kariyo ya mo 2014 ka January ka labaka la go bane ke ne ke lo kwaranda twaka ana ya kula na le silicosis.
The proposals put forward to improve the supply of natives recommends that the existing native social system should be attacked, with the object of modifying or destroying it.
babang hona mona nna go botse ba hlola di ba bangata fela ke ba hlola di fela ba bangata bana batho ba bangata ba ha ba fikere mo ke na 73 bana disused bana TB.
The South African gold mining industry's silicosis and tuberculosis epidemic is without parallel in human history.
Abamnyika ngantshomo bo mhlongola bakumuka ngoba basoboniswa kuseba mdlayile nje.
Ngauta umtho o ditsina go ka mgoti antsa hema moya o kotsi o mo
The gold mines of South Africa have brought to the surface more gold than man has known in all his history. Just think of all the gold being poured and everything we owe to it.
Dying for Gold, the film that sets the scene for us to discuss not only the mining industry but the rise of the illegal mining phenomena. Ms. Mayberg, perhaps tell us a little bit more about the film. What were you getting at? What was the objective? The deep history of the trauma that miners and the mining industry has seen in this country?
Yeah, I mean, our initial impetus was to understand not only the economy of South Africa, but using the illnesses of silicosis and TB to get a deep insight into how destructive and how brutal the mining industry is. And in this case, we used gold mining as the example. So we're talking about legal mining as such. We're talking about the biggest gold mining companies in the world that have been totally unaccountable to the amount of destruction they've caused for families across the subcontinent. They've sent miners home ill. They've sent families home who at home who are unable to support their families because they are ill. They have lost their ability to work at the fields when they get home. They cannot get another job because their lung capacity is so low. And then parallel to that, that is the story, the contemporary story. And this story has gone on for 120 years. This is not new. Our economy remains the same structure that it was 120 years ago, by and large. The way that cheap labor is used and abused in the mines continues. And that has led to impunity as far as the big mining companies are concerned. And so when you come to illegal mining, I mean, our take on it would be is why is there illegal mining? Why are these mines open to that?
To perhaps chip in and answer, why is there illegal mining? What are the push-pull factors, and where should we draw the distinction between illegal miners, the Zamazamas, and the artisanal miners?
You see, sorry, Karabo and Tsepiso and Catherine. In as far as the process, I can hear his research talks as far as 120 years now. You must then have this background that says, since the inception of the industry in the continent, it has never been regarded as an employment. This was an industry used to test the slaves as per the rules of the colonial regime. As a matter of fact, South Africa, or Africa as a whole, never had a say towards what they thought is as usual. I'm talking a phenomenon of a chained dog here. Remember, even if you can unchain it, it still behaves within the mileage of the chain.
So what are you saying by that?
Now, since the 1994 breakthrough, there were rules agreed upon. As I'm speaking to you now, during the revolution, the Lyon Commission, which was put in place to investigate the brutality that Catherine is talking about, clearly came to a conclusion of endorsing the so-called Mine Health and Safety Act. Coming to the issue of illegal mining, this is literally gritty. Gritty in the sense that the big boys, in our case, are closing doors to the extent there are those who feel that no, we can still mine in our own space. But if you look at the rigidity of the law with the history I gave you, you then find it worrisome to say, how do you then just give to an ordinary person a license to do mining where this man never showed you?
Who are the big dogs here? Because we've spoken about the thuggery, the gangsterism, and somehow the sale of this illicit commodity manages to pass hands and net a lot of money.
Thank you very much. That's a genuine question. The big boys, I'm talking to issues of Anglo-American and all its siblings.
Is it just the big mining companies? Are there not individuals in our society?
No, this has been a process of unbundling. This thing came here as a set. But they understood that there is Anglo coal, there is Anglo this, there is Anglo that. If you sit down now and look at the big boys I'm talking to Anglo-American, I'm talking to Samanco, I'm talking to Glencoe. They can have those sub-others. But of important, let's first look where this thing of illegal mining starts. In the ex-mines, where they operated, and they literally did not comply in terms of the rehabilitation process. Remember, if we were to talk reality here, like you said, we need to. Every mine has got a lifespan, and the geoscience report will tell for how long and what is the gravity or what is the ore body. Immediately they see that the ore is very deep, they mothballed the shaft. They leave it in good condition. They go to the area where they know that they will access production immediately because all they want is to do quick cash.
Okay, so let me bring you in here, Ms. Mayberg. What were your findings when you were speaking with some of the miners? I'm just wondering what they're confronting based on what Mr. Vilakazi has said.
Well, after all of these decades of working on the mines, is only very recently have they put in the correct protocols. We hope they have. We still need to be proven that they have. They say that within 10 years you won't see any silicosis anymore coming out of the mines. But we have to wait 10 years to see that. They are still exposed to dust, and what that level of dust is determined by the mine themselves.
Okay, so let's go into these mothballed mines which she's talking about. What are the workers saying about who comes in, who swoops in and mines them again, and what kind of collusion or networks exist? Because I understand that even mine workers themselves come under attack from these illegal miners.
Yeah, I think that you need to look at it from a different point of view. First of all, I mean, what Comrade says here about responsibility, regeneration, fixing what they have done after the fact. After they've made their profits, they move out and they leave a kilometre-deep hole where children are falling down, where people are exposed to the most disastrous environmental hazards. That continues. So why is the emphasis being put on illegal miners who are trying to make some kind of living on the smaller level, the artisanal miners and those kinds of things? I mean, obviously there is also, as you spoke about earlier, people who are organised.
So what you're saying is that the smaller players are being punished for the conditions that they find themselves in because of the big boys that Mr. Vilakazi
They've just opened themselves up to being exposed to the most, as I said, horrendous conditions. They are living right next to holes that are a couple of kilometres deep. You can't, those situations should have been fixed. Those mines should have been, if they were no longer usable, should be closed properly. You can't leave these exposed spaces, shafts all over the country.
Mr. Vilakazi, we often see communities obviously at odds with big mining companies about not delivering on promises, whether it's developing their areas or housing, etc. But clearly for the second-rate players, and by that I put it in inverted commas, who come in and re-mine or exploit those mothballed areas, they have to infiltrate the communities that they do this illegal mining on.
So the Minerals, Petroleum Resources Development Act number 104 allows communities which knows that they are sitting next to a particular mineral to apply. The second thing that we need to take into consideration, illegal mining has got a bad impact in the economy, in the environment and in human lives, because there are no surveillance pre-medical of all who are involved. The only thing they do, their salaries are not regulated. They do not know what will happen even if they can be there for 10 years to come. But of important, like the question you're raising, there is a commitment in terms of the Mineral Petroleum Resources Development Act 102, where it talks to the issues of the commitment in terms of social environment or social impact by the mines. They shouldn't, we don't expect mines to employ everybody, but we expect mines to develop the areas where they are mining. Go into Kronstadt now as we speak. All these big boys, they have left ghost towns.
So do syndicates then come in and fill the vacuum? That's the question. I suppose we'll pick that conversation up just after the break. Don't go away. This is On the Record.
On Trends Travel, we bring you a full guide on all things lifestyle related. With so much to discover, we give you comprehensive reviews of places to visit, music, travel, and food. We also explore the arts, whether on or off stage. All this and more. Be sure to tune into Trends Travel Saturdays at 5:30 p.m.
It was a journey of self-discovery.
It started as a call to adventure.
Some of us leaped at it, some of us refused the call.
but inspired by our ideas to make Mzansi better.
We all crossed the first threshold.
The final 6.
The road of trials began. Not only were our ideas tested, we were tested.
But on a mountain of truth, you never climb in vain. We embraced our shadows and conquered our fears.
It was no longer about us. We discovered our essence in selfless service.
From the judges, I learned an unwavering steadiness of purpose, look to nothing else, not even for a moment.
Except to reason.
Leadership is not about the next election, but about the next generation.
From one day leader,
we learned
and we became.
One Day Leader, Thursdays at 9 p.m. on SABC 1, Mzansi for sure.
Azikho izinto ezibuyisela ubudlelwane emumva njengamanga nezimfihlo.
Ungakhulumi amanga, khuluma iqiniso.
Uthi wathi dlaka kanye kuma Edmond and kungenxa into wena wayithethayo.
Usandile unamanga.
Wabamba retele embedeni. Peteni. Benqunu. Ngixelele Edmond lanto ubungixela la wathini kuwe.
Ungaphuthelwa umxazululi wezothando kuNyanyan njalo ngoLesibili ngo6 ntambama la ku SABC 1 Mzansi for sure.